Yo, family, what's the word? What's good? It's your boy, you already know, Almighty, coming in. Gotta let them know what's really going on. So basically, man, today's topic is going to be code of the streets, man. Code of the streets. Very literal term, you know what I'm saying? Very literal when I mention that. Basically, I want you to take it for face value. That term or that phrase that I just said, code of the streets. I just been sitting back, man, analyzing, and I'm a thinker. I'm not too quick to. I am quick tempered. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm very quick tempered, which I like, but I know how to use that in balance. I know how to, use it when it's necessary. Not use all of my anger in the means to put myself in situations that I really don't need to be in, or put myself in a situation to where it's like I'm always involving myself in something that's negative. I'm a thinker. I reflect. I utilize everything that I'm doing for a benefit, not for a hindrance. It has to make right judgment within myself on what I need to be doing at that specific time. So the reason why I pointed that out for the code of the streets was because right now when I'm seeing with the code of the streets, there is no code. But we use that terminology, but we never use that terminology literal. You see what I'm saying? Like, there is really no code. People just doing whatever. It's like, what's your principles? What's your law? What do you value? Honestly, a lot of cats don't value anything. They just fall in whatever trap. You know what I'm saying? Just fall into whatever trap, whatever category, what I have in the base principle. I'm going to tell you right now, my base principle is the Bible. It has 5 books speaking about laws before we come into a specific chaos that I look at, out here in society. Like, nobody wants to abide by that. We want to abide by man's law, and that could be very critical, hypocritical, deceptive, cunning. It could be a lot going on. This is just another segment of Real Talks. You already know how we do it. You already know how we kick it, man. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? Code of the streets, man. What are y'all really abiding by? You feel me? Like, what are y'all really going by? You know what I'm saying? You got cats out here, man, so in a temptation that they don't even look back. They sell intoxicating products to their own community, and they don't even look back to see, like, dang, I'm really, affecting my community. They demoralize. They mentally obstruct, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, for me to go associate with someone similar to me, I can't do it because psychologically, they may be out to come and get me, annihilate me, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been selling, these illegal substances to my community. Everything has a cause and an effect, and this is the effect of you, taking these illegal substances, to my community. Now you don't have backing power, you know what I'm saying? Now you feel like you in a zone where it's like you by yourself, you don't have nobody, because you partook in the streets. You know what I'm saying? People can tell, by your character, who you are, what you stand for. You got to have a certain character. You got to have a certain charisma about yourself, a certain appearance. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that you can do that. And, your pants are about to fall. And I'm just going from the ideology of what streets are, because in all essence, a street is basically a pavement to make a cross intersection either for a human being or a vehicle. For you to get to a specific destination, that's a street. But the terminology that we use, the code within the streets that we use, is horrific. It's very negative. In our code of the streets, it demoralizes people mentally. And nobody can elevate or oversee over that. You understand what I'm saying? But you do have an overseer, and you gotta tap more deep into what's going on, man. It's a deep, dirty game, man. but it's all for resources. If you go in sequence with what I'm talking about, I kind of give you a gist of, and I'll continue and I'll pick up on different topics, as we go on. But right now I got to deal with the more principal one, which is the streets. Like, we can claim to be, almighty, or, these specific giants in the streets. We even put it on video because you got 1 or 2 guns, but you only got 8 people. So when you do the mathematical numbers, you only got 8 people, and you try to, live like you almighty and powerful. You got plenty of other races, because trust me, everybody's in it for resources. It's a race for the resource, the battle of the resource. So if you got these many different people, fighting for resources to obtain, then you look around, you got hundreds of your millions of your people, globally without. Who do you really have? You only got those 8 people. How you gonna face the world with 8 people, Scarface? And then you annihilating and competing with, killing each other like that. That is absurd. That's a code of the street. Or go be malicious, go be violent, to my brothers and my sisters. Let's go fight over who can have the most drinks, who can buy the most drinks at the bar. Forget that, man. You gotta look oversee that, man. You want to buy the whole bar, the whole strip, if the city, the state. But what principles do I back that by, though, to make sure that, or ensure that I do that? And that's problematic. I'm telling you right now what mine is, and it's biblical. You know what I'm saying? Don't really have to get more in depth than that. I keep my principles and my foundation within that, because that's who I am. And anybody ever asked me, the subject would not be interchangeable. I would not go from that. That is fact, not fiction. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to even go back to a scenario about what, OGs have done. And a lot of people have wanted me to touch on this topic. And I'm actually depicting this segment right here to be the topic that I actually introduced this about OGs, which in essence I call them OGs because of the terminology. Let's break it down. Original gangster, meaning the original mobster, whatever you want to say. But those terminologies to me are denouncing. They're not gangsters. They were activists. But to associate with the common society on what they would feel like an OG would be, which is in essence, understand again, is an activist, okay? This person is an activist. This person is not a gangster or a mobster. This person is an activist within their community. Okay, that's what you need to be, an activist. But the world has portrayed them as gangsters. They were activists, okay? Keep in mind, activists. Okay, you guys give me like 10 seconds. I actually want to go. Give me like 10 seconds. I actually want to go and, pull up Google, which is very vital source of information, but you still have to connect the dots from your own interpretation. So let's go to activists. Synchrony. See what it says. A person who campaigns to bring about political or social change. Okay? A person who campaigns to bring about political or social change. That's an activist. That's who Larry Hoover was. That's who Jeff Fort, your Malcolms, your Martins. You know what I'm saying? They were all activists. They brought about political and social change. Farrakhan. Activists. Okay? It's all about control at the end of the day. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. They were not gangsters. They were activists. So I'll let you know what that is, okay? So that's the pinnacle of what you want to be, not the new modern day age gangster. That is not going to help, in anything, because I'm telling you right now, it's going to be some things that go down from what I'm observing. That's going to be about, who selects this territory, what does what, and this is, again, a real segment of real talks. I always like to point these out because, I'm watching politics, I'm watching sports, I'm analytical. This is beautiful. They can't stop me. I'm beautiful than the cuticles. Anyway, but back to the topic at hand. So those guys were activists. So with being an activist, basically, if you really go do your research, and not listen to everybody, but get in depth, get knowledgeable, because that's what life is about, getting knowledgeable and being able to obtain, but also have that balance to where it's like, look, I got enough. I don't need to be greedy. Let me make sure I get and make sure, someone else gets. And, it's some division, some good division right there. But it's equal on both sides. Even with the division, simple, what do you have? You have a line separating the middle and a dot on top and a dot at the bottom. But back to the topic at hand. Talking about the activists that were in our communities. You go study them in Chicago, Illinois. Okay. Basically what was going on was, it used to be, Irish gangs when America was first established. So the Irish gangs feeling like they were getting, underappreciated because basically, their similar brothers, meaning, other forms of Europeans, acquired America, and this was their land and their territory. And, our nation of people were fighting for jobs and, with our different businesses and things like that. They didn't like that, and they started looting our neighborhoods. Randomly, just looting our neighborhoods because we were providing for our neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? The so-called, blacks, were basically providing for their neighborhoods. Okay? So that was going on. Like, we had a whole system. The so-called blacks had a whole, system going on in the neighborhoods. And this is real talks, you know what I'm saying? It's for all nation of people, though. This can, educate you on how gangs were, made. So anyway, back to real talks. You get me? So with that being said, they wanted to fight back. Guys like Larry Hoover, Jeff Fort, you know what I'm saying, from Mississippi. And then you had your boy who went out west, which was Tookie Williams from Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cats don't even know that. That, you know what I'm saying, predominantly the people who stepped up, you know what I'm saying, for our communities before they transpired to these bigger areas or these expansions, you know what I'm saying, they came from those two states. So those two states are prominent. So if you really want to know, what real life is right now, man, you need to probably go, to either of those two states to understand like what really being a real G is before you hop into any game. They gonna put you on game. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of the OGs would tell me. I'm gonna put you on game and bring you up to speed. You know what I'm saying? They understood mathematics. They understood time. They understood a lot. They was very intellectual people. You get me? But yeah, they were activists again. So a lot of us aren't being that anymore. We're just living life, just following a trend, a demoralizing trend. When you separate or when you calculate certain things, when you separate the dynamics of, okay, it's an Asian race, it's Caucasian race, you know what I'm saying? It's a Hispanic race, you know what I'm saying? It's all these different races, that we have here. So, but when you put our race into retrospect and you do the numbers, and you look at, drug abuse, intoxication, when you look at, even from an economical standpoint, when you look at the disease rate, when you look at all of these factors, we are definitely, my group of people, and I'm not mad to not tell the truth about this, but when you look at my specific, calling within this, I recognize that we're at the bottom of the totem pole. And again, it's real talks. So what we talk about on this show is nothing but real talks. You get me? So it's like, man, we really got to, step it up, man. Like, cats got to sacrifice, man. Cats got to really sacrifice and say, look, man, this ain't what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't really need to be getting into this type of stuff right here, man. I got to stop this, man. This it's bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? It's big. It's a lot bigger than me, man. And trust me, once you do that, man, you're going to see a lot of changes. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to have those psychological effects that you would have. You know what I'm saying? Because you sacrificing, it creates a trend, and it creates something into which what I like to call a chain reaction. I mean, it works for everybody. And I actually think that term is actually elder term to go back to, the days of slavery and things like that, to where it's like, okay, it's a chain reaction to where if I get one person to do one thing, the rest will follow. So you got to understand literal terms, man. Literacy, man. Literature, education, man. Knowledge, man. Understand the real codes of the streets, man. What they should be. Activists, not mobsters, gangsters, accepting drugs, intoxicating the community, disrespecting women, disrespecting parents. None of that. That ain't going to help you, in any race. Like, it's not going to help you in anything. You feel me? So, point is to decode, unfold, and reinvent. That's the thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Such a beautiful thing. It could definitely be done. But again, it's your boy signing off, man. All praises. We the truth. You got to know it. Hey, code of the streets, man. Y'all have a good one.